Quail enclosure. Here we are playing in a dust bath. They're actually doing something they're supposed to. Here's a little toy we have for something to do. Here we all are just chilling out, relaxing, hiding from me in the hopes that I will not capture them and try and sex them. Here's a really cool thing about these houses is they love them. It allows a little somewhere to hide. And they can all stay warm. I normally turn it facing out, so we'll go ahead and do that now that I've annoyed everyone that's in it. This is a Pepsi 2-liter holder that the Kroger gave me. It holds my water, keeps it kind of dry, but mostly it creates a little hide. These are the bands that I'm using to mark all the boys so I can find out who's being rough and sell them or eat them. They come apart like that. You just use your thumb to spread it and stick a leg in. They clip shut and they stay on. This one right here is a boy. He's light blue, and that's my little helper. So I got these on eBay. They were super cheap. I think it was $2 with shipping. They came from China, so it took, well, as long as it takes for stuff to come from China, forever. One thing about buying stuff out of the United States of America is that if you do it often, you're on their most watched list. All my packages, because I love to buy cheap headbands, get searched by customs. And I look at it as it gives customs something to do. As I buy headbands and random quail and chicken accessories. As you can tell, my quail are pretty chill out. They don't really care that I'm in their cage. I can stick my hand out. They're a little leery, but they don't really care. All of them with little marks on their head have been sexed. If it's on the top of their head, I think they're girls or they're a boy with a band. If it's on the middle of their back, they're either a boy and I've switched my style, or they're a question mark. This one little tuxedo with one on its head is done that way because I was having problems seeing my old marker. I'm probably a bad parent and I used Sharpie, but on these bright colored ones, I use highlighter. I'll be using the highlighter more, and I'll be buying a blue one so I can mark girls and boys and question marks. So here's some of the eggs they laid. Here's one of their several feeders. We have just an open bowl feeder. We have a holder for pet. We have a chick feeder. We have a custom design feeder that was a tote that I've tried to get some holes in. However you guys all do this and make the perfect round holes, go ahead and share that secret, because I tried to use a box cutter and almost cut my hand off. No matter how gentle I was, I cut myself. I like this one because it has a little notch over here. No clothes. I normally put food on the top and on the sides so they can all eat, because quail like to eat a lot. I also put food on top of all their little houses. I have 3 of these little houses. They have a rabbit hutch. Inside, a double fenced to triple fenced area. Backs into my chicken coop. It's got plastic and a tarp over it. I'll finish winterizing once it gets, I don't know, towards the end of the week. I'm tired, haven't felt good. This is my light that I use. As you can see, it's wired in. They can't knock it down no matter how many times you bop into it. It is LED. So you can see the spider webs and whatnot. So the fire risk is pretty minimal. It is in glass, so once again, pretty minimal. It needs cleaned. But I haven't felt good, so we'll get there eventually. It's really nice. Zip tied in place. It's wired in. I do have a piece of bamboo that I bought super cheap. This is my favorite type of wire. It's expensive. And then it also goes up and down, which I don't like. This is plastic coated chain link. This is my roof. This is so no predator can get in, no quail can get out. This was a metal dog run that I bought for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. When picked it up. It was supposed to have a back, but since I had put it connected in with my chicken run, I just expanded my panels out each way to make it a little longer. One on each one. And then behind us is chicken wire. That's to keep even the smallest little quail from escaping. And if a raccoon chews through it, or a possum, or any kind of predator, I live in Columbus suburbs, so no one has like bears and stuff. We're in a privacy fenced-in backyard. Privacy fenced yard. Behind the privacy fence is chain link. I have ceramas, so it's pretty much airtight. Really hard for people to kind of do anything. I didn't know much about quail. I researched, what they eat, what they need to survive, how to keep them as happy as possible. And I decided, rather than the breeding cages that most people use, I would buy this rabbit hutch so they'd have a way to stay warm. I'll eventually put some type of heat in here. I haven't decided what yet. But right now, this is working. Everyone's happy. Down below here is just pine shavings because cedar is bad for birds. And I'm allergic, so that's a priority. You'll notice it's pretty deep. The reason for that is it's getting cold. Underneath it is not dirt. It would be cardboard. That way, the quail get some insulation because winter is coming. And I hate being cold, so I'm going to do everything I can to keep my babies warm. This will eventually become my research / grow out area. But right now, everybody's all together. I am working on buying some stuff to get everyone out for spring. But right now, this works for us. There's the nosy chickens. As you can see, there's no real aggression towards the quail from the chickens. They are super nosy about everything. But that's chickens and quail. And since we all share the same area, I haven't took too many precautions to keep it all biosecure. I don't necessarily encourage my chickens to come near my quail or my quail near my chickens, but their cage is side by side because this is the most secure and well protected from the element area of my yard. Most of our storms come from the west or the north. So they're on the west side against the privacy fence we see over here. This is the north. I haven't got this squared away yet, but I've come up with a plan finally. I'm just going to take some cheap plastic like we have over here, cut me a piece, hang it over. That way ventilation isn't an issue, but it stops all this god-awful wind. I'm not really going to take this down too much due to ventilation. I will have it so if it gets super duper cold, we can do that. But mostly I'm going to try until we get into the negative degrees. Not because I like ventilation, and I'll bring in a heat source. This is a butterfly net I got at the dollar store as well. One of my favorite places to shop. And it's amazing because you have little quail and you just go, "Aya!" And you've caught a quail. You flip it up and they're caught. You let them down and they're free. Great tool. As you can see, they're not real stressed. They're not real thrilled with it. But if you do it slowly and carefully, zero harm comes to anyone. And you just let them go. My quail know. This is one of my tiny little grow outs. 3 weeks old. This is day 2 out. That's why this Pepsi crate or 2-liter container comes in so much handy, is because it keeps my water off the ground, which makes it harder for it to freeze. And it creates a little safety zone. So little quail can get in there away from all the jerk quail that are bigger. I try not to, like, my numbers aren't going to increase drastically. I'm looking for new breeding stock so that by spring I will be secure in my breeding stock for rare Coternic quail colors. You'll probably notice I like the pansies a lot. I like the German pastels a lot. I love the tuxedos. They're probably my favorite. I don't know that they go for the highest amount of money, but they make mommy happy. Here they are chilling up on top of the roof. This is some silver tape. It's amazing. You can use it on your chicken coops or any rabbit hutches, chicken coops, anything like this that you buy as a pre-built little package. Because by putting it on the top here and on the insides and covering any of my holes, it made it waterproof. If we open up this door, which isn't fitting very well, so it's going to take a second, you'll notice I have quail in here. It's a place for them to get off the ground. They can get warm. They don't use it as much as I would like, but they are starting to get them to